Evening, everyone. Welcome to the Select Board meeting. Today is Monday, July 21st, 2025. This meeting hearing of the Ayer Select Board will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation via Zoom is being provided as courtesy to the public, the meeting hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with a particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for an in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. This meeting will be live on Zoom and Channel 8. The public may access the proceedings by joining Zoom, meeting ID number 978-772-8220, note new Zoom number, or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, Assistant Town Manager at atm@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 100, prior to the meeting. I do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, any amendments to the agenda?
I have none.
I'll make a motion that the board approve the agenda as presented.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair says aye. Any announcements?
No.
Okay. And okay, so we don't have a public hearing notice or anything?
It's in your packet, I believe.
This notice of hearing?
Yeah. Read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks a little different.
Notice of hearing, violation of settlement agreement. Dear Mr. Lahif, please be advised that on Monday, July 21st, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. at the Ayer Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Ayer, Massachusetts, the Town of Ayer will convene a public hearing to determine whether you have violated the August 26, 2019 agreement between yourself and the board relative to the dog owned or kept by you and known as Tiger, and to determine whether the dog shall be seized in accordance with the agreement, and or if any further or any other penalties shall be imposed. A copy of the agreement is enclosed herewith for your reference. The hearing is being convened in response to a complaint that on April 17, 2025, while the dog was at large and unrestrained and not properly licensed, attacked another dog, resulting in injuries to the dog and its owner, and your own admissions that the dog was not properly muzzled or leashed at the time of the incident. A copy of the Ayer Police Incident Report describing the matter is attached hereto for your reference. During the hearing, the board will examine the evidence, which will include an examination of witnesses under oath and a review of official incident reports. And based on the credible evidence and testimony presented, the board may make such findings and orders concerning the restraint or disposal of said dog as may be deemed necessary, including but not limited to requiring that you surrender the dog and that you be prohibited from owning a dog in the Commonwealth for a period of 5 years. You may attend the hearing, and at that time you may produce any documentation and or witnesses. You may be represented by counsel at your own expense if you so choose. If you have questions related to the hearing process, please call 978-772-8220, extension 100. Sincerely, Robert A. Pontbrand, Town Manager.
Okay, thank you. With that, let's hear it started. Mr. Pontbrand?
Madam Chair, members of the board, good evening. In the audience, we have Chief Gill of the Ayer Police Department and the Animal Control Officer, Ms. Julie Thomas, Town Council Attorney Greg Corbo of KP Law for the Town of Ayer, and I believe Attorney Jeremy Cohen, representing Mr. Connor Lahif, and I believe Mr. Lahif is in the audience this evening. No? Okay, no, I guess he's not.
Okay.
So with that, through you, Madam Chair, maybe turn it over to Town Council to sort of set the plan.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, good evening, everyone. For the record, my name is Greg Corbo, Town Council for the Town of Ayer. Thank you, and through you, Madam Chair. The reason that we're here this evening is to determine whether Mr. LaHiff has violated the August 26, 2019 agreement concerning the restraint of his dog known as Tiger. The meeting notice sets forth the reasons that this hearing was convened, specifically that there was a subsequent incident in April of 2025 in which the dog was not properly muzzled and leashed in violation of the terms of that prior agreement. And during that incident, the dog attacked and bit another dog and another person, resulting in injuries. And in accordance with the agreement, if the board finds that there was a violation, it may be treated as a violation of an order, which would result in the surrender of the dog to the town, as well as a prohibition on Mr. LaHiff in owning any other dogs in the Commonwealth for a period of 5 years. So the purpose here tonight is for you to consider evidence concerning the violation and for you to decide whether or not that evidence does in fact establish a violation of the agreement to trigger the requirement that the dog be surrendered. However, before you consider that evidence and testimony, I understand that Attorney Cohen, on behalf of Mr. LaHiff, would like to present a potential further settlement agreement that you may decide obviates the need to proceed with the hearing.
Thank you.
Mr. Cohen?
Good evening, Attorney Jeremy Cohen for Connor LaHiff. I will say, I believe his mother, Laura LaHiff, is with us on Zoom this evening.
Yes, I am.
And thank you for this opportunity to speak about this incident. I was part of the settlement agreement 6 years ago, and it sounds to me, based off the police reports and you convening this meeting, that Connor, his actions did violate the agreement that's been put in place, but perhaps there's been 6 good years in the interim. Nonetheless, Connor has communicated to me, and as has his mother, that they'd like to make this suggestion to the board. Certainly, the board has the power to take the dog and do other things, including euthanasia. Connor would like to offer up surrendering Tiger, so surrendering ownership and possession of Tiger. And we have located a woman, Carly Capuano, who she runs a doggy daycare facility, and she's experienced with dogs and some training in Salisbury, Mass, called Stand By Me Dog Daycare. She is willing to accept ownership and possession permanently of Tiger. And I've explained to her that in the past, if Attorney Corbo and I have ever worked on something like this, to ever have a town assent to something like this, she needs to sign an agreement, and we've drafted one, which the town could contribute to, where Connor LaHiff and any of his family, friends, associates, they can never possess, take Tiger, and Tiger could never come back to the town of Ayer, and that would be part of a voluntary agreement. And that any violation of this, of an order, would also be her own violation of the order. So Tiger would suffer whether Connor tries to make an attempt to get the dog, which he says he wouldn't, or with Carly's, if she becomes less than compliant with the agreement. And the agreement would be whatever is already in place that you've had, I believe, is a 3-foot leash, muzzled when in public, not required to be muzzled when on the property of a doggy daycare. And she would become the owner of the dog. She would license the dog in Salisbury, and she understands all of the issues that this dog has had and Connor's had with the management of Tiger. She knows Tiger, and if there was any concern, she's known Tiger since 2017. I'm guarding against any concern that because she knows them, she might actually allow Connor to take possession. She knows that Tiger needs better management. Connor's not in a position to do that right now, but he certainly doesn't want to be responsible for the euthanasia of the dog. And again, she's willing to contact her own animal control officer, let everyone know who they're getting, what type of dog Tiger is in terms of this history, and comply with any prior orders and any new order, which again would include um, no return to Ayer and no possession by Connor or anybody associated with Connor. He could visit perhaps, but not, this dog could never be taken off property by anybody except her, and could never be out of her supervision, um, if the board is so inclined, if Connor were there.
Mr. Cohen?
Thank you.
Mr. Cohen,
Yes.
is this the same daycare that Tiger was attending in 2019?
In 2019, my notes show, well, I don't know that. But my notes, I think from back then, that I was just looking through, had a different name.
It might have been Gemini.
Yes, that's what's in my notes, Gemini. Thank you. So I don't think Gemini is the same, but I'm not sure where Gemini is.
But the woman in question has known Tiger, pretty much Tiger's all life.
Since 2017, and she intermittently has the dog at her facility, and there's no incidents up in Salisbury if Connor, when
Yep.
Connor's not in town.
Yep, according to our meeting minutes, it is the same place. Okay. All right.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
through you, can I ask if Ms. Capuano is here?
She is not. I've spoken with her today. I told her I was going to draft something along the lines that we talked about for consideration, and she was on board with that. And I can make her available to the board or to you, Attorney Corbo, if and when necessary. And actually, I can try to see if she's available now.
That would be great.
Okay, give me a moment, please.
While we're waiting, anybody have any questions? I think he's, yeah. Go on.
Attorney Coburn, maybe a question for you. Does the dangerous dog connotation or classification carry with the dog to the next municipality?
Yes, it does. The dangerous dog designation applies to the dog every place it goes in the Commonwealth.
And is the town of Ayer held harmless once the transfer happens?
That would be a specific requirement of the agreement. At least I would recommend that the board not agree unless that's a specific requirement. And that requirement would be for the board to be held harmless and indemnified by both Mr. Lahif and Ms. Capuano, so that, if anything happens with this dog, whether it bites another person, and someone looks to sue the town of Ayer for releasing it, then they would be responsible for indemnifying the town for any costs or defense it might incur as a result of such a claim.
Great, those are the only questions. Thank you.
Madam Chair, through you, and perhaps when Mr. Cohen is back, I don't know if the animal control officer or the chief knows Miss Capuano and might have anything to say about her ability to abide by this agreement.
I know of her through the previous hearings, and she seemed to be knowledgeable in dog care and maintenance. But beyond that, I don't know. I'm going to defer to see if Julie, do you know?
I've spoken to her a few times. She used to be an animal control officer in Salisbury.
Julie, just so the microphones can get you. Yeah.
I have spoken to Carly a few times, She used to be an animal control officer in Amesbury or Salisbury, one of the two, and then she opened her shelter. She does seem to be knowledgeable, but I have not personally met her.
I remember this being discussed years ago, as far as, you know, when Tiger was basically away from his owner, there were no issues. Yeah. So I do remember that, so.
And
Any
to
luck,
to
Mr. Cohen?
Mr.
Oops.
Cohen's point that
Yeah,
we have,
she should be joining us.
we have not had an incident in the 6 years reported to us.
And that's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
whether there's been incidents, they just haven't been brought to our attention. I don't know if there's people in the audience that has anything else, I don't know. But nothing has been reported to us.
Hello,
And,
caller? Are you Miss
Everyone.
Campanale?
Hi, Carly.
Hi, this is Carly.
Carly, do you have video too?
Not at the moment. I could join probably in like 30 minutes.
No. Phone call have to do.
Okay. Carly, I was explaining to the board our conversation earlier, your experience with Tiger and Connor, and your willingness to take on permanent ownership and possession of Tiger, but with the requirement that you cannot release the dog to Connor, or any friends or anybody like that. That this is your dog, and that there's an order already in place from 6 years ago regarding the muzzle went off the property, a 3-foot leash. That muzzle order does not extend to the property of a doggy daycare. I believe that was carved out in 2019, so you could, so you could work with Tiger. But is that, so in essence, this order would apply to you as well throughout the Commonwealth. Is that something you're comfortable with, that you would have to, if Connor showed up and said, I got to see my dog, that it's no longer his dog, understanding that if you were to allow that, it could result in the seizure or euthanasia of Tiger?
Yes, it's understood. We've had conversations about it this week actually, and I'm actually listed in his will to take Tiger regardless. So it's something that I'm pretty comfortable with.
And again, I just want to reiterate that if Connor came to visit Tiger, Connor can sit on your property and visit Tiger, but Connor cannot take Tiger for a walk.
That's understood.
Okay.
I have a business to run, so I mean, I don't want to jeopardize that either.
Anybody have any questions? Oops.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
can I ask a couple of questions to Ms. Capuano?
absolutely.
Thank you, and through you. Good evening, Ms. Capuano. My name is Greg Corbo. I'm town council for the town of Ayer. And I was just wondering, so if you were to take ownership of the dog Tiger, where would it be kept?
I live in Salisbury, so it'd be at my house in Salisbury. I'd probably go to the daycare facility in Salisbury as well.
And at your house in Salisbury, do you have other pets?
No, not at the moment. I foster occasionally, but no pets at the moment.
Okay. And do you have a fenced-in yard at that property?
Yes, I actually live on the property of the doggy daycare. There's a house on site, and
Okay.
so.
Okay, and you understand the further conditions that if the dog is going to be taken outside of that property, that it would need to be muzzled and leashed at all times.
I completely understand. I've worked closely with Salisbury Animal Control in the past, so I have a good understanding of those types of agreements.
Mm-hmm. And are you intending to keep this dog for the rest of its life, or are you intending to try to adopt it out again?
No, she'd be completely rehomed with me. she'll live out the rest of her years with me in Salisbury.
Okay, and you are willing to abide by the condition that if any further incidents happen involving this dog, that you will be responsible and indemnify the town for any costs that it might have to incur?
Yes, 100%.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair, do any other members of the board or the chief or the animal control officer have any questions?
I do. Attorney Corbo, I don't know if you have the draft available that was given to us here with 11 points. Do you?
Yes, I do have that draft.
Okay, so I see item 8 talks about holding harmless, you know, making sure that the town of Ayer, you know, has no, you know, I guess, what do we want to call it? You know, future issues, liabilities is the word. Is that written to your specifications? You know, should we reword that, or is number 8, you know, for your legal expertise sufficient?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. So, I mean, I've seen this agreement, but I have not had an opportunity, you know, to put my own stamp on this. And so, you know, if the board were inclined to want to accept this agreement, I would recommend that the board vote to approve the agreement subject to further approval by town council and the town manager.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Where's Tiger now?
Where's Tiger? Where's Tiger now?
Laura, where's
He-
Tiger? Or Carly?
He's with Connor, as far as I know.
Well, that's
Carly did you have different information?
No, that's my understanding. I'm ready to take her. But she's in air as far as I know.
Okay.
I wonder if he was talking about moving to South Carolina or something. He would not be able to get the dog at all. So it would have to be under her.
right, but he has the dog right now, so you could take the dog with him. So, is Connor still in air?
Yes, he is.
Okay. So,
So,
Mr. Corbo,
Yes.
if we agree to this transfer subject to town council approval, at what point will Tiger be removed from Connor?
So, through you, Madam Chair, the way the agreement is written now is that Ms. Capuano would have to take possession of Tiger within 48 hours of when we sign this agreement. So presumably by the end of this week. And before she does that, I would suggest that she would have to show that Tiger has been licensed in the town of, I think it was Swampscott, and that the handoff, including showing a copy of the license, be witnessed by the animal control officer.
Greg, is that the Ayer animal control officer?
Yes, I assume the handoff is going to occur in Ayer.
Carly, would that be correct? Would you be coming to Air to pick up Tiger?
I can come down to air if it's required. It's not a problem.
And would you help facilitate?
I would.
Okay. All right. Any other comments, concerns?
No, I have none.
So, Madam Chair, if
Yes.
If you or anyone else on the board is so inclined, well, I guess before that, through you, to Attorney Cohen, can we have Mr. LaHiff address the board as to his intentions with respect to this agreement and his understanding of it?
I don't believe that Connor is present. He's not on the Zoom, and I don't believe he's in the audience there.
No.
No, he was on Zoom. His phone number was anyway, but he's since logged off.
And the name you just saw pop up is Wendy Bryant. She's with my office. So um, perhaps if I mean these the condition of me taking the case was for this purpose, and Connor's aware of that in terms of saving Tiger, but rehoming to a new owner. And his mom is on, and so uh, can we hear from her, Greg?
Is that okay with you, Madam Chair?
Yes.
It's super emotional for Connor because he knows this is his fault, but at the same time, the responsibility if something bad would happen to the dog, it would be even worse, which is why we're kind of in this trying to save the dog, but not necessarily with Connor. Why don't you share some thoughts with the board, Laura, please?
So, thank you for having me join the meeting. This is hard for me too, but I just want to say that Connor's not going to run. I know he keeps talking about moving away, but he's not going to go anywhere right now. He's not going to take off in the next day or two with the dog. He is, with my conversations with Connor, he is willing to give the dog to Carly. Carly loves the dog. She's kept him when Connor's been away. Um, and he knows he can't have her back. I worry about Connor's mental health if the dog were to be euthanized. Um, Connor's Connor's got a lot going on right now, as I'm sure you all know. So, for his mental health, his parole officer has even stated she's worried if the dog were to be euthanized, what it would do to him, the guilt, because he knows it's his fault. Um, so I just want to say he won't run. I'm in constant contact with him. He knows I'm talking to Attorney Cohen. Um, I'm not sure what else I can add other than this has just been a horrible situation, and I'm sorry.
Where do you live, ma'am?
I live in Connecticut.
Um, so one thing I do remember from years ago is Connor does love the dog. Connor can't handle
Yeah.
the dog at all. You know,
Right.
we've been lucky over the last few years that there has not been, as pointed out, nothing been brought to our attention that's good. It seems to me that based on what we're hearing, Tiger's fine when it's with anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been fine. She's always been fine, like around my grandchildren and the rest of the family. I've never seen, what happened or anything like that. But obviously, something happens when she's off leash and there's another dog around.
Yeah.
So since it sounds like incident in 2019 as well as now, it's well established that it's a management issue.
Yeah.
Can we add the no owning a dog for 5 years stipulation? I don't like. I would be worried that Connor would get another dog like right away, and
I agree.
N-
I
Point,
agree.
that's a very good
No,
point.
I don't. He told me the other day he'll never have another dog. I mean, yeah, that this is it. So, yeah, maybe he realizes he can't manage. I don't know, but that's what he told me. I believe it was yesterday.
Okay, Laura, just a second. Okay. What they're talking about is trying to um, enact a clause that says he won't be able to license a dog in Massachusetts for 5 years. So um, that I'm not comfortable with. I think some version of that with a, maybe it's for the next 2 years or something, but um, I think part of arriving at this sort of, hey, we're going to resolve this so that the town's not in a position where they're left with no decision other than to euthanize the dog. I don't think this warrants the level of 5 years without a dog. I mean, there's been, when you go 6 years without an incident, he may say he doesn't want a dog, but I think reality, because we're arriving at a voluntary agreement, perhaps it's 2 years without a dog, or 2.5 years or something. Uh, in the event that he he does fix things up for himself, and it's determined that he could manage a dog as well as himself. But if you don't think that's, if you think I'm looking for something that it's never going to happen, then you can share it. But it's hard to project out 5 years.
You're right.
Well, I think, yeah, I think that maybe a compromise to, maybe, I like the idea that you mentioned 2.5 years. And I think that, though we're on the one side, this might sound horrible to Mr. Leaf, at the same time, it allows him to not have to worry about an animal while he takes care of his other stuff. And maybe in that 2.5 years, because that one stress has been removed, the other stuff will start falling in line to where they need to be. Um, so
Perhaps something worth
I'm
striving for.
open-minded to a compromise. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can agree to
Madam
that.
Chair, through
Yes.
you, to you and other members of the board, would you be amenable to having that stipulation only apply in the town of Ayer? And that if he moves to a different town, he can get a new dog?
Well, that brings up a good question. I mean, how would we hold it against, on another dog if we're asking to be never bothered with this if the dog's in Salisbury? So, I think so. What do you both think?
I'd stay within Ayer.
Within air, yeah.
My only concern is the idea of just kicking the can to another jurisdiction. Um, you know, yeah, Air is not liable for anything, but I wouldn't appreciate if someone from another town were to move in here that had a tough history with dogs, and just kind of came in with um, you know could get a dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against just saying it's Air. I'm just throwing that out there that you know it, is it now just kind of moving pieces around and now saying, okay, now it's this town's problem, this city's problem. That's the only thing that I would throw out there to think about.
Brings up some,
Through you, Madam Chair?
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Just for point of clarification on that, though, it's not that he would be allowed to own this dog in another town. It's only that he would be allowed to own a different dog. So we'd be sort of giving, under the statute, if there's a proven violation of an order, then the person is prohibited from licensing a dog anywhere in the Commonwealth for a period of 5 years. And so this would be a compromise to say some lesser period of time that he cannot license a dog in the town of Ayer, but that if he lives in another town, he can license a different dog there.
I mean, another dog could be a smaller dog that's easier to handle.
It's true.
So, you bring up a valid point, but yeah. Um, so I'm comfortable with Air.
Yeah, I just threw that out there to
Oh, no,
see
good,
if anyone
good
else
conversation. So,
was, to kind of deliberate over and to think about. That would be my only thought.
I just think it would
against
also
it,
be
but-
hard to police. I would
Well,
definitely
I
say.
know, you get to a point where
Yeah.
you can put all kinds of restrictions and rules, but if you can't enforce them, then it gets
Yeah.
muddy. You know, so I would be comfortable saying 2.5 in air.
Sam?
Yes.
Maybe this is a question for Attorney Corbo through the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Is there on the transfer, is there any particular language or a form we should have at the ready to, for the transfer?
Through you, Madam Chair, um, yes, I think that would be a good idea, and I can put that together for you. Basically, it would be like having, both Connor and Miss Capuano, sign like a receipt, basically saying that, the transfer has occurred. And then you'd have that for your files, and that would also then accompany a report from the animal control officer so that, everybody has documentation that this has occurred,
Thank you.
along, of course, with the signed agreement.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
All right then.
Uh,
Yes.
So, through you, Madam Chair, unless there's something further for you, I guess the sort of the two questions that the board has are, one, do you want to accept this agreement? Um, again, as I indicated earlier, subject to, further approval by myself and the town manager, or do you want to proceed further with the hearing, and take evidence and testimony and make a decision as to whether or not there's been a violation? If you want to pursue the first option, then I'll give you a motion for that purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first option is to go with the agreement because going the other way, just seems punitive at this point because I think come up with a solution that certainly works for me.
Yeah.
Uh, I like option one because Tiger also has a history of being at the, Stand By Me, is that what it's called? Yeah, Stand By Me daycare in Salisbury, been there many hours
Yeah.
of its life. So Tiger's very comfortable there, and it sounds like Tiger's fine with everybody else. So you hate to punish the dog when it's the owner. So
Right. Yeah.
yes.
Would you, in your investigation, would you have seen any incidents in Salisbury?
I haven't. She claims there hasn't been no issues.
Correct. We haven't been made aware of any, and the report is that the dog is a different dog in Salisbury under the care of Ms. Capuano.
Okay. Thank you.
I suppose the nice thing too is because she runs a daycare, that kind of gives it an extra look from people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if there was a problem, phone calls would have been made, and which would affect her business. So it sounds to me like, Tiger's not going to impact that, so that's a good thing.
And if
For
there was any actual dog bite incident in Salisbury, they would have to report it back to us as part of law. So we would have been known about any dog bite or aggressive dog.
It's true, because the dog lives in there. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Unless there's any further.
Okay, so
Oh.
through you, Madam Chair, hearing consensus, I would, if someone is so inclined, suggest the following motion, to approve, the settlement agreement authorizing, the dog to be transferred to Miss Capuano, with the additional requirement that, Mr. Lahif not be permitted to own a dog in Ayer for the next 2.5 years, subject to final approval of the agreement by town council and the town manager, and to authorize the chair to sign on the board's behalf.
So moved?
Seconded.
All right, any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And the chair says aye.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And so I will work with Attorney Cohen to come up with a final agreement, and I will work with the chief and the animal control officer to schedule the transfer, and then hopefully that will be the end of this. If for whatever reason the transfer does not occur, then this hearing would have to be reconvened, and I would imagine that the board would not be as amenable to another agreement after that.
Correct. It's on my part.
Yes.
And so with that, Madam Chair, you can close the public hearing.
All right. So I just want to add, just could you guys work it out like fairly quick so Tiger can get to its new home? Okay.
Yes, my intention, assuming Attorney Cohen is available and everyone else, is that, we could have this transfer effectuated by Friday.
Excellent.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, great.
Laura, does that seem possible?
I think so.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your consideration here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You want to make a motion to close the public hearing?
I will make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair says aye. The public hearing is closed. Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
You too.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And chair says aye. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.